Good evening, dear CMA students. Good evening, Astab sir. Good evening, Vatsan sir, and good evening, Rishab Ostwal. And welcome to this particular session for about next 1 hour, where the All India rank holder is going to discuss with you about the success strategies which he has adopted for securing rank, not only at the final level, but also in his foundation inter-final. Consistency is the key for success. He has been consistent enough to stay with the course, to prepare, to avoid distraction, plan, and of course execute. And getting all India rank in CMA as well as CA number one is something great. So we welcome Rishab Ostwal for this presentation. Thank you so much for joining today. Yes. And of course, Vatsan sir, the chief mentor at Bharadwaj Institute. Of course, he is a great teacher for income tax, both at the inter-level and final level. Coached more than 25 years, of course, around 10,000 plus CMA students exclusively with his lectures, recorded classes, face-to-face and live online session like that. Beyond that, he has offered a lot of career guidances, mentoring sessions, where he has not only taught in the class, but also ensured that he is being placed and the training sessions and post-qualification, of course, is being placed kind of a thing. Then, Astaf sir is a synonym to the hard work, smart work. Of course, he has brought a smart work and a wonderful work under his guidance, under his mentorship. Okay, it's an investment of 2 years of his time in bringing this eduhomeconnect.com, where bringing education to everyone's home, wherever you are. Bringing to education to the home is the motto. And if you look at the resources are developed exclusively for CMA. What are the resources? Study resources. Study resources. You can just go through, okay, for all the subjects at the intermediate and final level, all the study resources. What do you mean by study resources? Number one, you want to have model test papers, just come to the website. Suggested answers, come to the EduHome website. Okay, question papers and discussions, come to the website. You want to take up the tests, come to the EduHome. Tests are not just like any other portal or something like that. Number one, multiple choice question based on every unit. You could have seen multiple choice question based on the whole syllabus. For example, a student studies one particular chapter. Like, for example, in my paper, a chapter called Financial Statement of Non-Profit Organization. You studied that chapter. Immediately you want to practice multiple choice question. Is it possible in other portals or other areas? No. But in EduHome, chapter-wise multiple choice questions are available. Not only chapter-wise. Okay. Overall multiple choice questions are also available because multiple choice question plays a crucial role. Every subject, 30 marks multiple choice questions. Number one. Number two, is it only for the subject of accountancy or something like that? No, but for all the subjects. Okay, you look at even for direct tax, indirect taxes, the study resources are updated. Okay, it is not just one-man work, it is a team of qualified cost accountants who worked meticulously in preparing the multiple choice questions and of course, updated to the latest examination requirement kind of a thing. You just take up the test and you will see immediately the results will come with suggested answers, the results will come. Sir, is it multiple choice questions alone? No. The student can write and submit descriptive papers, okay, that is evaluated in the back end by a team of professionals and the marks are sent to the students with remarks and other things. So, unit tests, chapter end test, model test, all these are available in the EduHome. Okay, we can come to the website and check for all the available options. Or you can just contact the people who are administering, they will take care. I do not want to take much of the time. Now, over to Vatsan sir.
That are extremely happy. Like anybody comes first, that this is CA and CMA All India Rank 1. So my parents feel so happy when like they are getting introduced by my name now. So yes, it's a very proud moment for me as well.
Yeah, that's great. Making the parents proud is something which is the best intangible asset one person can enjoy, and I'm very happy that you are enjoying. Now, there are many students who are watching you speaking. I know you have given various interviews and they have been tracking you now. Just we want to understand from the student's perspective. We are almost on 2 months away from the examination, less than 2 months away from the CMA examination at whatever level it is being. So we are literally in the slog overs. From here on, how to approach the course? I know that you can also talk about CA, but this program is designed for CMA students. So I just want to understand from your perspective.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. So even for CA or CMA, matlab the strategy is the same. There is no distinction that for CA we have to prepare in this way or for CMA we have to prepare in this particular way. Both are professional courses. So I would say when exams are just 2 months down the line, we have to have a very solid plan as to what we have to do in this next 2 months, and we have to evaluate ourselves each day. That okay, this today was my target to complete these chapters, and actually I completed these chapters, and this is the difference which I left out. Now you again you have to modify your plan and you have to evaluate what was the mistake. Was I not productive enough, or was the plan was did I overestimate myself? You have to accordingly make the changes. So if you are ineffective, you have to see what was the root cause of your inefficiency. Was it like was I wasting time in social media? Was I wasting time with speaking to my friends or any other issues? So I have to cut down that productively. And but yeah, people cut sleep. This is not the right thing to do, in my opinion. If you cut sleep today, this will affect your productivity for the next day. So you have to cut your time for the task which do not add any value to you currently. It may be speaking to your friends, but I'm not saying you have to not speak to your friends at all. You can speak, but speak. You have to have a proper plan. Okay, I'll finish first 4 hours of studying, and then maybe I'll speak for 10 minutes. So that proper strategizing and planning must be there. And there's a very famous saying as well. If you are planning to, if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. Planning is very important, and I would say for so shall I start with my approach for how to study as well, sir?
Yeah, please do that. Please do that.
Yes, sir. So broadly, there would be two types of subjects. One would be theoretical, say like law, and there is CMA, cost management audit. Then there would be practical subjects like there is financial reporting. Then there is SFM, SPM, BV. So for theoretical subjects, what I did was I used to make a summary notes of all the. In my first revision, I used to make a summary notes for all the chapters which I read. I also made sticky notes and I stuck them on my wall. And whenever I used to come back from, say bathing or whenever I'm free for some time, I used to just walk around and see those sticky notes with not any specific purpose to memorize them. But this habit continued for many weeks. And eventually, when I started my second revision, I used to get those pictures of the sticky notes which were stuck on the wall, on the summary notes of my book. So this helped me a lot in tackling theoretical subjects. I used to make charts. I used to make sticky notes. For practical subjects, in the first revision, I would say one has to solve problems using pen and paper. People just see the problem and then go for the exam. That will not work because in the exam pressure, we may not be able to present well, and we also have very fast because we have a limited time of 3 hours and we have to spend get 100 marks. So we have to 100 marks for in 180 minutes. So it is 1.8 minutes per mark. So we have to have this proper rule and we have to evaluate. Okay, if it is a 5 mark question, I can maximum spend 9 minutes on it. So this one thing, and for practical, as I said, you have to solve the questions. And one very important suggestion is people have to use red pens. What I did was for all my practical subjects, suppose there is a very big question. I also read the entire question, solve it first on my own, and then I used to compare it with the given by the institute. Now, if there is any difference between my answer and the institute answer, I used to see what is the difference. And then, okay, I missed this point. I used to circle that point in the institute's material. So the next time I do not do the entire problem again. I used to just see this, okay, this was a mistake which I did in the last time. And I did this for all the problems. And one more very important thing which I did was striking down the problems. So then there can be very easy problems which you're reading a particular problem. It is very easy. Just do it once and then scratch it. It does not require to be done in second and third revisions. People do not do this in their first revision. So your first revision is extremely important in terms of marking things, in terms of striking down. So this substantially reduces the efforts in your second and third revisions. And also another thing is you have to make notes in all the questions. Like these are the key points in the in this question, and you have to make the categorization as well. So I used to categorize. Okay, this problem I have to see in the last day. So I used to put tick that, and I used to put the LDR. So this problem I used to see in the day before exam, because we have only in CMA the exams are held consecutively. We do not have sufficient time to see the entire syllabus. Even in CA, we do not have sufficient time to see the entire syllabus. So we can only see selective things which we have marked. So we have to ensure that we are preparing ourselves to be ready for the revision in the last day as well. Yes, sir.
Yeah, all the ideas which you have shared is brilliant, especially that sticky note ideas along across the room seems to be very fascinating idea. I think for batches to come, we will definitely tell your name and say that you have prepared like this, and that's a good idea. And marking those which are important and striking off all these things, I take it up, Rishab. Very good idea, very good input for the students. Let me talk to you from a let us talk about a student's constant doubt which people ask me. If you take any of the law or direct taxation or indirect taxation, do you remember all section numbers, all case laws, or is it that you are able to manage with that? How the student should approach with regard to case laws, section numbers, and all?
Yes, sir. So for section numbers, I used to remember I'll first talk about indirect tax. Indirect tax, I guess, we learn section numbers along with the provision itself. So like we are saying 7(1)(a), 7(1)(b) or section 8, 9, 10. So I guess in terms of indirect tax, section numbers are pretty easy as well. And it also ensures continuity. So so what I used to do was when I am feeling bored, I used to close my eyes and I used to picture as okay, what I have studied in indirect taxation. Okay, I'll start with sections. Section 7 is supply. Section 8 is composite mixed supply. Section 9 is again 9(1), 9(2), 9(3), 9(4), 9(5). Then section 10. So this ensures that I'm having a proper flow of all the concepts. So for IDT, I feel section numbers are important because they would help you to remember provisions very well. Like if you're remembering all the sections in one along without remembering the section numbers, you will not have that proper continuity. But for direct tax, the sections are very huge. So I used to remember only specific important sections for direct tax. Like I would say section 32 is depreciation, section 28 all item incomes taxable under PGBP. So like that, only for specific important sections I used to remember in direct tax. But for indirect tax, I used to remember almost all sections, but not the sections which are in the end of the like second half of after 50. Those sections I used to remember less, but the initial sections which form the base of the which we read in CA Intra as well.
Yeah.
Those sections I used to memorize.
Yeah. So that's a stand-home, a carry-home message for the students is as far as possible in indirect taxes, we should try to remember the sections because it easily flows with the subject and with the syllabus. But whereas direct tax or for that matter company law or any other law which you are studying, the most important sections we need to try to remember it, and the other sections, if you are not able to remember it, it will not going to bring down your marks to a larger extent. That's what I think.
It is fine to not. It is fine to not quote a section, but it is very incorrect to quote a wrong section.
Yeah.
So do not. Yeah. So if you know the section very confidently, only then you have to quote it. If you're not sure, then you have to not quote the section.
Yeah, I also vouched for that because if you quote a wrong section, you are not knowing two sections, not just one section. You are not for the provision written, you don't remember the section number. For the section written, you don't remember the provision. So it amounts to -2. Instead, please be silent. That's I take up Rishab. Rishab, how far these tests are going to help a student and how self-evaluation or getting tested are going to be important?
Yes, in my opinion, tests are extremely important in the sense that they make you exam ready.
For those who lost the connection in between, we were just speaking about how to prepare for the examination. Rishab was planning his, telling us his plan, how he had done it. Especially, he was telling us that his room was filled with, in an informal chat also, he was telling me, hundreds of sticky notes. So whenever he sees something, he is able to recollect. And he told me that if the fan was on, it will be looking like his room will be waving with sticky notes. So, and also his preparation strategy includes that strike off those questions which you are already confident of, which you have already prepared well, so that when you are doing a revision, you don't waste time on those questions and focus only on those. And he said that if there is an issue with regard to any particular adjustment in any particular question, that is, you have worked out and then verified the answer, you find it different, one or two adjustments, mark those adjustments, because that alone, if you prepare, you will be able to do. And then I was just asking him about the test process and the importance of that. From there, we started again. So, Rishab, over to you with regard to the test.
Yes, sir. So as I was saying that we practice a lot during our revisions, but we need to be exam ready. So just practicing will not be sufficient. We also have to give some tests. Now I would say at least we have to give one test which is fully in the exam oriented environment. One or two. Like I gave two tests which are in the exam oriented environment. Like in the same, I had a chair, I had a desk, I had the same type of exam sheet which the institute provides. And I used to write down just like I just have 15 minutes before the exam, read the question paper, just get a printout of the question paper, answer it exactly in the same way as I would write in the exam. Finally, I would do self-evaluation of the question answer sheet as well. So I feel tests are extremely important as as it makes like in Hindi we say kitna pani mein ho, like what is how well you have prepared. It's the only way of testing yourself.
Yeah.
Like I think we have to give tests. Now tests can be of two types. You can give regular tests, which like say you have prepared a particular chapter, then you can evaluate how well you are in that chapter. Or there could be a full-fledged test where you have finished a subject and you would like to now give a mock test, which is exactly in the same way as the institute conducts our exams. No, both have their own importance. The second exam oriented test would be very important in terms of as it makes you very confident in terms of attempting the exam. Now you will not feel that if after attempting this mock test, I was confident. Okay, now I know how to write the answer. And it felt very easy now because I was already habituated to writing tests. I wrote tests for all the 8 papers. So now it was very easy for me to write the exam. It felt just like another test which I have already given in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
And also regular tests are also important because they keep you evaluate yourself how well you are studying. So, for example, we read a chapter. We might not have read it with full efficiency. Now, when we are writing a test, we actually get to know, okay, this chapter I did not study properly, and I have to revisit this chapter again. Now, you might do a test exceedingly well. So this means that you are very strong in the chapter. So maybe you can reduce your preparation efforts in that particular chapter. So I guess the tests are extremely important from this standpoint.
Yeah, great. That's where EduHome comes to you as a big help, my dear friends. Okay, as he was saying, there are two types of self-evaluation. EduHome is trying to make the expert evaluate. So that's where we can come of help. That's not the purpose of this program. The purpose of this program is to get as many information in the available time from Rishab. But I just want to add that the one factor which Rishab tells, which I want to also stress to the students who are listening, or to students who are going to listen to this lecture, is make the final examination as a practice and not as a stress-oriented thing. If you keep practicing more tests, if you are confident, then the final examination will be a habit than you will have its own tension, but apart from that, don't put too much of stress on you. So that takes me to this question, Rishab. When I interact with many students, there is an element of stress which makes them to take wild decisions. I have seen students who says that they don't want to take up this test because examination, they will wait for another 6 months. There are students who I know can without them to groups, but they reduce themselves to one group because of this fear. Tell us about how to tell the students how to overcome this fear. And did you, in any process of preparation, felt that you need to quit or take a rest?
Yes, sir. So we just a second. Somebody's ringing the doorbell. I'll just come back in a second. Yes, sir.
Astaf sir, your mic should be on mute, I believe.
Yes, sir. Sorry for this inconvenience.
No.
Yes, sir. What was your question? Sorry.
Yeah. What do you think about students who want to quit in the midway?
Yeah.
And there are students who want to take a risk, whether they can skip this attempt. In spite of going forward and walking through halfway, suddenly they want to withdraw. For them, what would be, or did you have this thought in the process of preparation? How did you overcome?
Yes, so there are lots of ups and downs during our exam cycle. Even I am no exception to it. Though I have got All India rank 1, that doesn't mean that I was always up during my preparation cycle. That wasn't the case. There were even times when I felt, will I clear the exams? Will I, should I skip my attempt? Should I go for the next attempt? But you need to have that belief in yourself. Like, these thoughts are temporary. You have to again bounce back. Setbacks will obviously be there, but then you have to believe yourself. Okay, no, I know my capabilities. I know I can work hard. I will put. For example, CA CMA final, this would be your last exam of your life. So you have to give the best shot possible. So you need to just stop hard.
Astaf sir, please keep your mic on mute. It's really not able to hear. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. So as I was saying, setbacks are there are no exceptions to setbacks. Everyone feels ups and downs, but we have to have faith in ourselves. We have to know our capabilities, and we have to work hard. And one thing which I obviously, which I whenever I feel low, I think about my mom and dad. So my mom wakes up at 4 o'clock daily. Even now we are at wedding, and even now she's waking up at 4 o'clock. Like, she's so used to waking up early. So whenever I think, okay, no, I cannot do this, I think about her, the efforts that she put in. When I think about her, then I feel more motivated, and I give my extra energy in whatever I do. So I would say, think about your parents' hard work, and speak to your sisters, speak to your siblings, speak to your friends, gather up again the energy and start back, because this is a very long phase, and you have to keep that momentum throughout this phase. You have to be consistent. Unless you're consistent, you will not work. uh, there is again a saying in Hindi that boon boon se sagar banta hai. Like, every drop of water makes a big ocean. So if you are studying for 10 hours a day in one day, and second day you are not studying at all, this is not consistency. You have to at least study. Say you're studying 7 hours each day, that is fine, but study 7 hours each day throughout the period and gradually improve it. And as you would give tests, you would be motivated. Uh, as you are improving, so this cycle is very slow and gradual. You have to believe the process. You have to believe yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Rishab. From the one factor which he said is talk out. If you are really stressed, just go and talk it out to a person who you think will be the real motivator or will be the solution provider. So that will help you to come out of that small stress. It is a stress process. That's what he said. Even All India student, All India rank 1 student in both the streams, in spite of getting ranks in the previous stream of Inter, final he would have faced the same stress. Stress is a part of the game, and you just need to understand how to overcome. Coming back to that last part which you answered, which is what I'm coming to. On an average, how many hours a student should study? Suppose for the next 2 months. On an average, it might vary, but on an average.
On an average, I feel 9 effective hours. Now, I do not mean working the actual hours which you spend. Effective hours means actually when you're properly studying. So one can study 14, 15 hours a day, but when you're actually studying for only 7 hours or 6 hours. So I will say at least you have to study for 8 or 9 effective hours in a day. Now this would again not be done in a day. You will start with 5 or 6 effective hours. It will gradually improve to 8 or 9 effective hours in a day. But it's a very gradual process.
Okay. So 8 to 9 hours a day or effective study hours. So
Effective study hours.
if you keep your book for 12 hours, you will achieve 7 hours or 8 hours. That's what you feel. And how to divide between, in a day, is it essential that you study one particular paper or you should juggle between the paper? What was your strategy?
Yes, sir. So I coupled two papers together.
Okay.
One theory and one practical. For example, I can couple cost and management audit with strategic financial management. So these are for people who are giving both the groups together. They can I give both my groups together, and hence I coupled audit with SFM. So similarly, you can bundle up one theory and one practical subject, so that if you're doing theory throughout the day, you will feel exhausted. But if you're feeling practical throughout the day, again you might have hand pain, or you might feel bored sometime. So if you're doing both these, so for example, you can do 60% practical, 40% theory. So now this will ensure that your the day is balanced, the entire day is balanced.
Okay. So it's a perfect combo of theory and practice.
And also, while doing theory, do not just read theory and mug up. Have a pen and paper with you. Write down the subpoints while you are, revising stuff. So, for example, there is a question. There are 6 subpoints. Okay, before starting to mugging up the 6 points, first understand the question. Okay, this is the question, and try to remember what you have already learned, and try to note down. Okay, this I have already done the revision in the past time. Okay, this is the question. I think these are the points. So just note down the points, and then see, evaluate. Okay, what is the answer? Okay, I missed these points. Again, circle up those points, and again you have to close the answer. Again, you have to try to memorize the answer, and then again note down the sub points. And I'm not saying to write down the entire answer, but just the subheadings, the key points. If you note, this will ensure that you're not feeling sleepy throughout the process. You're having something to be engaged.
That's a very wise point. That is keeping yourself awake in a theory paper, or to be knowledgeable about a theory paper, write and see it so that it becomes a practice in you. Because I want to tell students who are watching this something, that as soon as this interview, Rishab joined some 5 minutes before the interview, he was having a pen in his hand. You know that he is now an All India rank holder. He can just answer it. Yeah, but still I saw him with a pen. I was surprised to see that he wants to hold a pen and keep note down, jot down. Remember, a rank holder who has cleared his examination is doing it, and obviously as students it is expected out of you, right? Many students have this issue, Rishab, that they are unable to finish the paper. Tell me from 2 points of view. One, how to ensure that they finish the paper. Second, also I want to understand, is finishing paper so important?
Yes, sir. So first thing, how to finish the paper. So there is a very simple math. We have 100 marks paper, and we have to get and we have 180 minutes to finish those 100 marks paper. So a very simple rule is 1.8 minute per mark. So if I first did the MCQs, and so for MCQ same rule, the number of MCQs multiplied by 1.8. So I have to finish this MCQs within this time. But I try to finish MCQs a bit faster because they are easier. So I reduce 5 minutes from the time for MCQs.
PC sir, can you please keep yourself as mute? It is coming as a echo for us. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So just this simple rule worked for me. For MCQs, I tried to reduce 5 minutes from whatever was allocated for MCQs, and for descriptive as well. So it is not that hard, sir. What people do is people tend to over focus on one particular question. They spend 15 minutes on one question when actually they should have spent only say 6 or 7 minutes. So you have to, whenever you finish a question, you have to see, okay, whether you are in time or not. If you're not in time, you have to make the answer concise and then move to the next question. There is no point making an answer very elaborate. So this might fetch you extra marks, 1 or 2 marks in that particular question, but that will lose you 10 marks in another question, which you will end up leaving because of lack of time. So keep monitoring yourself. When you finish the particular question, multiply. Okay, am I within time or not? If you're within time, okay, well, move to the next question. If you're not within time, you have to make your answer concise. You have to always ensure that you are within the time limit.
So I also had a second question, that whether is completing a paper mandatory?
Yes, sir. So there again, there is no proper answer to this question, but I feel one has to attempt all the questions which. So first you have to start with with the questions which you best know. And last, you can have the questions which you are least know, so that even if you end up leaving them, the risk will be very low. Even if you had attempted them, you would have got say few marks, but you ended up leaving them, so that doesn't matter much. So, but if there is a question which you have prepared very well and you're leaving it, that pains very hard, because we have worked very for a very hard period of time, and now when we know the answer but we are not able to represent it only because of lack of time, that it feels very bad. So I had faced this issue in my FR exam, in CA final, not CMA final. where I am telling, I'm advocating about this rule, but it was the first paper of my CA final, and CMA final was after CA final, so it was the first paper after 3 years. So what I did was I did not have this rule in my mind. I started with MCQs very relaxed, and by the time I saw that, okay, I was extremely off by the targets which I had, I was to be, which were to be met. And then now I made all the answers very concise, and I lost a lot of marks. So one has to start from the very beginning. One has to keep those limits in mind and then start. And I felt very bad after coming out of exam because I knew all the answers and I was not able to represent to the best of my ability. I could have got a couple of more marks if I had properly just one simple rule. That's it, right? So had I thought about it, I would have got a little more marks. But I worked hard and I eventually got All India rank 1. That's a different story. But had I not got, I would have regretted my life that one simple rule which I missed focusing upon.
Yeah.
So I would say the simple answer to it is important if you have prepared well. But if you are not prepared well, then maybe that doesn't matter if you are leaving a question which you are not prepared well.
So that's one key point takeaway for us. That is, it need not be linear answering. You can answer those questions which you are very strong at the beginning. If you are able to do that, we should be trying to complete all the marks with, and as he said, concise the answer wherever you are feeling that you are exceeding the time limit. Concise the answer, but ensure that you are answering all the questions. And the most important, or the questions which you are very confident, start with those questions. And coming to that important part. Well, 5 years back, the ball game was different. Now MCQ is the ball game. That's what I feel. Personally, when I look into many students, that 30 marks of MCQ has a very big impact on your total marks, on your aggregate, and on the confidence, how to approach MCQs.
Yes, MCQs are extremely scoring. And what I have noticed that majority of MCQs are being asked from the institute's MCQs itself. So one has to prepare the institute's MCQs very well, and also I feel if you are knowing the concepts well, the MCQs would be very easy. So you have to just not mug up the answers. You have to understand the concepts. This would ensure that your MCQ part is done very easily. Now, this was what happened with my law exam in CMA final. I had a proper understanding of all the concepts, but I was not remembering the exact provisions. Now I got, I guess, very good marks in MCQs. This helped me in getting 63. I got, I guess, 63 in law, which was, I guess, the least among all the exams. But getting 63, it was majorly because of MCQs. I did not know the proper point-wise answers for the descriptive part.
Okay.
Yes.
So MCQs play a major role, my dear friends. Whoever is listening, it is going to the hit or miss towards exemption is going to be MCQs. That's what we feel, and that's what EduHome is trying to help you with. Do more of MCQs, and you will get the information about MCQs. Now, coming to the core question of many students get distracted with social medias. With social medias, it might look that I will go and see it for 10 minutes, but it's not 10 minutes. Now, tell us, how did you overcome that temptation? Or is it that you fall for the temptation, still you got rank 1?
Yes, sir. So it's both of this. I overcame, but when I fell for it, and again I overcame. So when I started my study leave, I had all the social media apps installed on my phone, Instagram, Facebook, and I used to see everything. But then I told you, sir, that I have prepared a proper plan for all the days that I have to do this chapters today. Then I have to finish the subject within these days. Then in the initial days, I was very less productive, and that was being reflected in my progress. I was not able to meet the targets. So when I analyzed the reason, okay, why am I not able to meet the targets? I used to see my screen time. My screen time is 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes. So, okay, this is the reason. I am spending a lot of time on social media. So I gradually reduced this. I got this to 1 hour. Then again, when it was 1 hour, I uninstalled the apps, all the apps, social media apps. And then I was like, for Instagram, I used to see, we have app, we also have Chrome. So I used to uninstall the app and watch in Chrome. The Chrome's user interface is very bad. So you do not feel the intention to watch reducers in Chrome. So I used to watch Instagram deliberately in Chrome, and now I feel like, okay, the user interface is very bad. I used to again, okay, I close the tab. Then this this helped me in getting rid of Instagram. So similar strategy I followed for Facebook as well. And for YouTube, I hit the app. Yes, sir. So initially I fell for it, but then I realized that I am not meeting my target, and then I monitored my screen time, reduced watch consumption of social media, and then uninstalled them. And so that was again one of the key factors of me being consistent throughout my study leave.
Great. Good. So he was very honest in saying that, yes, he also fell for it, and he was able to measure his screen time along with his preparation time, and then understand it. So it is not that it is only the temptation which we should know how to avoid it, especially when you are closer to your examination. Now, for example, you said about the FR in CA final or law in your CMA inter. At times, on the exam date, after writing the examination, the morale will be down, or you are not able. You feel that there are people who feel they have not performed well. There are people who feel that they get failed on that examination. I know a student who wrote first exam in CA inter accountancy and skipped that group. I was asking him, why did he do? He said, I did not perform well. But when he got its mark, it was 53, absent. At the time, it was core paper in IPCC. So students, I don't know whether they can judge the paper. According to you, how to overcome this particular aspect of not performing well in the exam?
Yes, sir. This personally happened to me as well. In my FR exam, I did not do as I recently told. I did not do according to my expectations. Now I came back from the exam and I cried hard. Then I spoke to my sister. My sister said, "Okay, assume how many marks you have lost." I told, say I have lost 30 marks because of some simple mistakes. So she said 30 marks, right? So divided by the remaining number of exams. So I divided that by so she then said, how much do you expect you getting? So I said, maybe say I will get 60 something in 67, 65 or 70. I should have got 85 or 90. Though she said the difference is say, bit maximum by 20 or 25 marks. So assume 20 marks and divided by the remaining number of exams. It's just so 20 by 5, 4 marks per exam. So you have to just get 3 or 4 marks per exam. It is not that hard. So then now this changed my approach of looking at the remaining exams. So initially I thought that, okay, no, I cannot, all my efforts have went at a toss, one exam and I have lost everything. And now I cannot get a rank in CA final. But this thought that she said one more quote, that it's not done until it is really done. So you have to beat through all the 6 papers in CA final, all the 8 papers in CMA final. Until you finish all of them, it is not done. So you have to not give up. So if a paper is bad for you, probably it is bad for everyone in the country. So when there is again another saying, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So you have to have faith in yourself. Again, you have to ignore the paper which is already gone. Nothing can be done about it. You have to now think, what can you do incrementally for the remaining exams. So I promised, so after my FR exam was that, I promised my sister, no, now I will work harder. I have to now get those 4 additional marks in each exam, and I have to get back my target marks, and then only I will be able to get all India rank 1 in CFNL. So this again happened to me in CMA as well. In my law paper did not go according to my expectations. I got I do not know, this happens to me, I guess, in every exam. The first exam goes bad for me in everywhere. My FR exam went bad in CA final, my law exam went bad in CMA final, but I feel low. But then again, I speak to my sister. She motivates me that no, it's just the first exam. You have so many exams left. Work harder, and you would get what you desire. And I believe this, sir. What efforts we put, we really get back equivalent return in back.
Absolutely. Astaf sir, we should also organize her sister coming and speaking. I think the best motivator would be his sister also. Okay, coming back.
Correct, sir. Correct.
There are some students who are asking me also tell us about the inter, that is CMA inter examination. There are many who are watching it because the discussion should not be final alone. There are some students who are asking me about inter. I know it's 3 years back, could be 3 years back or 2 years back, you would have taken up the inter. But with regard to inter, is it the same strategy, or is there a way of looking at it?
Yes, sir. The strategies remain exactly the same. I used to follow the strategies right from foundation, not only from inter. Not only foundation, I used to do the same thing since the beginning of my. So I've been a ranker even in my class 10th as well. I've got 97.5 in my 10th ICC exam. So see, even there I had followed the same strategies, striking down the irrelevant problems, making markings wherever the problems are hard, and sticky notes. Even in so in my 10th I did not have sticky notes, but I used to write on walls. So it was a rented home. I used to write on all the walls and with chalk pieces, with crayons, and I used to remember them. But then now we have shifted into our own home, so that cannot be done now. So then now I followed this sticky note concept. But the strategies remain exactly the same, no matter which level it is, or which even this strategies could be applied to any other professional course as well. Yes, sir. So for theory subjects, you have to revise multiple times. You have to have a summary notes. You have to make charts. You need to make sticky notes. For practical subjects, you need to write down few questions. At least 80% of the questions in the first revision, you need to write them on pen and paper. And for the second revision, then you can just see the adjustments which you have, as I told you, that you can just see the markings with red pen, whatever you have made. Yes, sir. So broadly, the strategies remain the same. But I guess the stress levels are very high for CMA or CA final.
Yeah.
When compared to the intermediate levels.
Yeah, that's true. There is one particular question which our friend wants us to. How many revisions did you have, or how many revisions you did?
Yes, sir. So I had this thought that I have to study once and then at least have 3 revisions. But I couldn't do 3 revisions. I was able to revise twice. But for for in CA final, there was one subject audit which I revised 3 times. But for CMA final, I revised twice. So I would say at least 2 proper revisions. Now these are not just reading. So reading should be done separately. Once you have understood all the concepts, after that minimum 2 revisions. So this is the bare minimum. The more would be the more the merrier. You can do 3-4 revisions, but minimum 2 revisions would be required.
Okay. And because CMA examination has this that daily examination,
Yes.
it is not you don't have a day off. How to battle it, or
Yes.
how to prepare in that one day?
Yes, sir. It is extremely hard. So even the 1.5 day in CA final was, we feel that it is very less to revise the entire quantum of syllabus. In CMA, it is not even a day. We come back from the exam very exhausted. Again, we have to study. So I come back from the exam, take half an hour, 45 minutes break, and then start back. And I do not study the entire syllabus again, only the ones which I have marked. So in the first and second revisions, I would have marked, okay, these are the ones. For now, I would have taken into account the importance of it. And okay, this problem is very important, and I could not go to exam without doing this particular problem. And I would have marked LDR on it. So I studied only the LDR concepts, LDR problems, and LDR formulas before the exam day. Now, because of this, the quantum of which I have to study is very less. So I already stuck a lot of problems in my first revision. In my second revision, I would have stuck a few more problems. And so the third revision, which I would do, I would have very less, syllabus. Now, say first revision took 15 days, second revision took 7 days, third revision would have taken 3 or 4 days. Now ultimately, when I'm before the exam day, this will come down to 1 day because I'm only revising the LDR markings out of the third revision.
Okay. Also expand LDR for the students.
LDR is last day revision. I'm sorry if others. I have been using this term throughout yeah.
No problem. I just want the students to understand what is the LDR concept. So
LDR is last day revision.
Last day revision. So you are from the first revision, you are marking what is going to be on the LDR.
Yeah. These are generally the tricky points which you cannot. So there could be one complicated formula which, though you are trying to memorize as well as you can know, but you are sure that you will forget this in the meantime. Suppose you are now 2 months before exams, you have studied a particular formula now, but you are very sure that this formula you will forget before exams. Now I'll mark, for example, there is a black scholes model in SFM. It's a very hard formula. It's not that hard, but in the first division, we might feel that we will forget this. So I'll mark it as LDR. Before exam, I have to just see this formula once. Or there is, say, sharp spot portfolio optimization model. I'll mark this. Okay, I have to just see the concept once.
Yeah. So, those areas which it's like a TDS rate that you have to just remember, and a non-residence tax rate that you have to just go and remember until you finish the examination. That's what you call it as.
It could be TDS rates. It could be the dates which we have to remember sometimes. It could be in assessment processes. It could be the number of days, the time limits which we have, the numerical part which we often tend to forget.
So that's what is important. I understand. I know that time is running out for you. Also, I know that you have a program coming up. Also,
no, sir, it is fine, sir. I want to give my best to the students. So even if it is being extended, I have no issues.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, for the different level of students, all students need not be from the creamy layer. That is what I always feel. You would have seen many friends of yours who might not be a creamy layer or might not be. For the different layers of students, how the preparation strategy, how to identify that these are important and this is how the preparation should be. It is the same LDR format. For a student who is not from the creamy layer, how will you do that?
Yes, sir. So the objective drastically differs from, say, a person who is aspiring for a rank. Now his preparation strategy would be very different from a person who has an objective just to clear. Now this for a person who has an objective to get a rank, he has to work harder when compared to one who is only having an aspiration to clear the exams. Now this guy cannot leave any chapter in choice. He cannot leave any concept in choice. He has to study everything. He has to be sure in everything. Now, but for a person who has to, so one has to ultimately everyone has different objectives. So one has to ensure that his objective is met at the end of the day. If your objective is to clear, you have to modify your preparation strategy accordingly.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I am asking this question for one particular reason, Rishab. A CA student is just a student. I mean, those who are pursuing CA are students. With regard to CMA, there are many working professionals. They get into the job because of family circumstances, because of various reasons. Along with their job, they are unable to quit the job. That's the beauty of the CMA course. That's the challenge of the CMA course also.
Yes, sir.
Now with the job, they have to balance their. So from their perspective, how to do it?
Yes, sir. Even I have my friend who is, he has a CA final due, and he is working in a company. So even he asked me how he has to prepare, for exams. So I guess so his objective was only to clear. So now I think working and getting a rank will be extremely hard. So one has to ensure that his objective is achievable. Now, what are the work timings in his organization, and whether he will get sufficient time to get a rank. I guess that would not be very practical. So one has to ensure that his objective is achievable. Now, what clearing is practical. I know a few of my friends who have, a few of my seniors who have worked and then cleared CMA final. So this was in a client in which I had been working during my articleship. I think what he has to do is he has to so similar strategy is also being followed by students for doing their articleship. What we do is I say we do not have time on the out time, so we do not know when we come back from office, but we have control over the in time. So we know that we have to go at 10 o'clock morning in the office. So start your day at 5 o'clock in the morning. So now you finish your target in the early morning time itself. So now this ensures that even if you have any inefficiency, the inefficiency would be in the work and not in your studies. I know this cannot be a sustainable solution for a long-term point of view, but since now your main objective is to clear CMA final, for few months at least you can prioritize your studies. So you can wake up early morning, finish all your targets for the day. Suppose you have classes, so finish your 3 hours classes, 1 hour revision, whatever, 4 to 5 hours of 3 or 4 hours of whatever you have your target. Finish your targets early in the morning. Now you would go to office. I think in office people do not tend to be people do not get to delay work, but in studies people tend to delay. Okay, no, now I am not in the mood, I will leave this. So now if you're not having morning, so I was also a night person. I used to, wake up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then go to office and then come back. But after coming back, I used to feel I had a very tough day in my office, and now I cannot study. And I used to study half an hour, 1 hour, and I used to get sleepy, and I used to sleep. Then I realized, okay, this strategy will not work. So then I started to change my habit, and I used to wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Now I used to finish my classes early in the morning, finish my revision early in the morning. Then now I feel even confident. Okay, my target for the day is done. Or even if the target is not done, only I have 1 hour, half an hour, or 1 hour left, which I can come back from office and then do at my convenience. Uh, so one greatest tip would be to start early in the morning.
Yeah.
And yes, sir. And that's it.
Yeah, early birds scratch the prey. That's the only lesson he's telling us. That is, if you wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, you have a long day before even going to office. Because that question was specifically for students, for especially CMA final students or CMA inter students who are going for job.
Oh, working, yes, sir.
The CA final student has to go for articleship, which is very similar to job. He has to also have the same problem, but the dynamics might be different because sometimes the office understands the students better. But here you are all going for a job, there might be difference. So, but what he says is that one sentence which he said is very important, or one paragraph. Start early in the morning, your preparation. If at all there is any inefficiency, for a very shorter period, that's what is the exact words. Okay, for a temporary period, there will be a setback. Let that be in work, so that you will be able to catch up. In work, just 2 months and you are back, and then you can give your best. But whereas here 2 months is equal to 6 months. So that's what he was saying. And for the other questions, how did you make notes? He has answered those questions. You can just scroll back, or you can after the session is over, you can look back the videos and do it. And one question asks, how many mock tests you wrote, and how many?
Yes, sir. I gave 2 full-fledged mock tests.
2 full-fledged.
For all the papers.
Yeah, for all the papers, 2 full-fledged mock tests. That's what is. I think you have sufficient time to do 2 full mock tests.
Yes.
Even you will definitely have sufficient time, and that's why, as I was telling you, EduHome will come to you of help, and that's what Astaf sir is building that entire brand, building that entire portal in a very affordable price, so that you can take up mock tests, exclusive MCQs, etc. Okay, and there is one interesting question that a student want to ask you. If you had to start your CMA journey all over again, what difference will it have from the previous one?
I did not get you, sir. If I have to start,
if you want to start the CMA examination preparation all over again.
Okay.
That's the CMA final student who is asking me. If Rishab wants to start the CMA final again, if he wants to start the preparation, how he will start, so that's what they want to follow.
Okay, I do not want to start again. Firstly, it was a very hard process. But yeah, if I have to start again, I have to do the same strategies, whichever I have told. Preparing sticky notes. It's an extremely hard process which I have gone through. But that builds me for my future as well. Now I have worked extremely hard in my academic life. Now I am getting the best offers from the corporates as well. Yes, sir. So I think I have given my best in CMA
obviously.
preparation. But there may be a couple of things which I might think to change. I can reduce the reliance upon social media. So I can again think I can better. So now I am having hindsight. I know what mistakes I have done in my past. I can try to reduce those mistakes which I have already done. But I used to see this. For example, I did a particular mistake in CMA exams. I used to ensure that these mistakes I'm not repeating in CMA final ones. For example, in CMA Inter, I took a lot of time in watching classes, and I put less focus upon revision. But then I realized that no, this will not work in CMA final. Though it worked in CMA Inter, this will not work in CMA final. I have to have sufficient revisions, which is excluding the study or the classes which we have. There should be sufficient gap for revision.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, on the question, friends, you're asking about time management. Yes, answered that. In a day, he looks for 8 hours of effective preparation, which means 12 hours of book time means 8 hours of effective preparation, minimum 7 hours, ideal is 8 to 9 hours. That's what he has said about time management. So that's the same answer. And is there a syllabus prioritization technique?
Yes, sir. Very important as well. So you have to know what are the important chapters, and you have to focus your. So there is a Pareto rule. You have to focus upon your energies on those things which will get you the highest number of marks. So I did not follow this till my class 10. But what is the difference in professional exams is you cannot give your 100% in each chapter. I'm not saying you to leave any chapter. Obviously, we never know what institute can change. Institute can suddenly ask a new some extra questions from a particular chapter. But there is a trend which is being generally followed. Some chapters are more important when compared to others. So you have to ensure that you are studying those chapters very well when compared to the chapters. Say you can have more number of markings in those chapters. You can put more resources before, like you can revise the chapter before your exam day. You can leave some unimportant chapters before the exam day. You can miss the preparation, but you cannot miss these chapters because these fetch you the highest number of marks. So you have, for each subject, prioritization is extremely important. You need to have 3 categorizations: category A chapters, category B chapters, category C chapters. Category A is one you cannot leave at any cost. Category B are also important chapters. Now category C has those chapters which are readily asked in exams, and which even if asked are asked for a very low number of marks. So now this you can have these chapters, you can have an overview rather than a proper full-fledged study. So even no chapter can be left for those who are aspiring for ranks or those who are aspiring to get exemptions. But you have to focus more upon category A chapters. Now this will ensure that your efforts are being channelized in the right direction. You are working effectively.
Yeah.
If you are putting your best efforts in category C chapters, there will be no point. Those chapters will never be asked in the exam, or rarely be asked in the exam.
So it's again whatever we teach in the classroom as ABC analysis. That's the same with regard to a product or preparation or any of the aspects that is. Rishab, tell me how for institute material, institute RTPs, MTPs matter in the examination, or what should be the importance a student should give to that?
Yes, sir. Institute's material, I guess, is extremely important. Even I had the base material which I used was also institute's material. But we can also use author's material provided it has adequate coverage from institute's material, RTPs, MTPs. Now, if instead of carrying so many sources, institute's material, RTPs, MTPs, you can have one author's material which has proper compilation of all these sources.
So suppose for a June examination, the MTPs that are getting released now, it will have a big impact on the examination.
Yes, obviously, yes, sir.
You wish that the students go through that MTPs and RTPs to a larger extent.
Yes, sir. So probably they can maybe give a mock test upon the institute's MTPs itself.
Okay. So that's why PC sir was also telling us that all these things are compiled and kept in our EduHome Connect portal, where you, on a single click, you will be able to see the suggested answers. You will be able to see the RTPs, MTPs of various years, and those questions, institute questions. I also strongly advise students to go by institute material, because they obviously, if I am running the institute, I would love to know that whether my students have studied my own material.
Yes.
So obviously some book back questions, especially on MCQs, might come. And that's why Astaf sir has worked on all compilation of all the book back questions of this. So it plays a very big role. I also felt, but listening from the house mouth will be better. That's why I was very particular about this question. So on the cross section of questions, that is a CMA student referring to CA's final or CA final question papers or inter question papers, vice versa. CA students referring to CMA. How do you feel?
Yes, sir. So first, this can be the second, thing. First thing, you have to ensure that you have covered your areas fully. Now, if you have extra time, you can obviously refer. There is nothing wrong in referring other courses material as well. For example, when I was doing CA finals GST, I also referred CMA finals question papers, CMA finals questions. But that was because but I did not directly start doing CMA questions. First, I finished all the CA questions. I had some spare time left because I had allocated some number of days for GST, and I got a day left. So that day, okay, well, I can just see some CMA questions. Probably they might get asked. So I did them. And also while doing CMA, I saw some CA questions as well. But the first focus should be upon the course, the institute which you are studying in. And then if you have some spare time left, you can see the other institutes' materials.
Yeah. So first, the base material of the respective institutes should rank first, and other things. Well, when we are
as such there's no mandate as such. It's not mandatory to go and refer other institute sources, but it can be done. Nothing wrong.
That's all.
Yes, it's an optional thing which you can do.
Yeah. So, and to complete all these things, you still feel that how many days did you prepare exactly? Or is it a continuous process of 1 year you prepared? What is the strategy of the last 30, 60 days that you adapted?
Yes, sir. So I had revisions for say around 5 months. Yes, sir. So I had this aspiration that no, I have to get All India rank 1 in both CA final and CMA final. So I know that I cannot do this in 1 month or in 40 days. I have to give at least 5 months of proper studying for both of these toughest exams of our country.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But obviously the last 6 years are extremely important. You cannot have other distractions in those last 60 days, last 30 days. You have to gradually keep improving your study curve.
Yeah. So actually speaking, a November, December student and a May, June student, the biggest difference is this IPL. Okay.
Yes.
Did you face it?
Actually, I used to have this in my class 10th. I was a very big IPL fan, but then I had my board exams near. So I took a promise that okay, I'll not watch IPL till I finish my academics.
Okay.
So I did not watch after class 10. I have recently started watching after I finished both CMA and CMA final.
Okay.
But yes, sir, a lot of my friends have this issue because they watch IPL and they'll tend to lose focus. But you have to rethink. Okay, what I have my whole of my life to watch IPL. It's just a matter of few months which I have to ignore IPL. It's not a big deal. You'll not lose anything by not watching IPL for what is it that you lose? You will not be inclusive in a conversation. So whenever my friends are conversing about IPL, I stand dumb because I have not watched IPL for several years.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter, right?
That's the key point. That is the wordings. That is what you are missing is just a season, and not on the other side. What you are missing is something greater. So as he said, missing a season is not going to. It doesn't make any difference if you catch up with that. Okay. So thank you, Rishab. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all the advices. I would definitely look forward to interact with you very often, and also ensure that the students get benefited.
Yes, it was
on behalf of Educom, on behalf of Bharatwaj Institute, personally on behalf of me, congratulations to you once more for being an inspiration to students. That's what, more than rank, etc. A student seeing you will find it a next door person and aspire that he can also get that or feel motivated. That's the best thing you do.
Yes, sir. I think this is one of the best sessions which I have had. It was a very open conversation which we have had. And I hope that this reaches to as many students as possible. And even if at least one student gets inspired and get a rank or get cleared because of having this interaction, I would feel very blessed. Even a few years before, say 5 years before, I was watching some rankers, coming on some sessions, speaking about their experience, speaking about their strategies, and that was what inspired me. Even I have to get a rank, I have to come on the platform, then speak to people, speak to guests, and inspire students. So I wish all the best to all the CMA students or the CA students, and I hope this inspires you and even you get a rank. And I wish that somebody broke my record of getting all three rank ones in all the 3 levels. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, not just one student. There are many students who will get inspired, and be sure there are 3 faculties who are getting inspired. Be it PC sir, Astaf sir, and me. I have some message carry home today. I can definitely tell to my students that Rishab Jain said this and follow this. Thank you very much for a very interactive and open session. And You have been very honest. You spoke your heart out, Rishab. That's what I liked in your entire process. You did not go out of the hat and speak. You spoke it as like any normal student, whoever, whether they are coming from the aspiring for rank or whether they are aspiring to clear. There is a takeaway home, take home message from you. Thank you. Have a wonderful career in life, and I wish that you come back to the students community very often to give your tips, because they look for you than anybody else.
Yes, sir, it was all my pleasure. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you, Edu Home Connect, for providing this platform for sharing my thoughts.
Thank you.